This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Monday, September 4th, 2018. A quick aside, today will be my 36th year without having a drink, and how that compulsion and how that obsession was lifted from me. It was none of my doing, and I am eternally grateful for all those who have helped me along in this journey. The title of this rant today is, Please, Not Another Rich White Catholic Male on the Supreme Court. So Brett Kavanaugh, rich white Catholic male, nominated for the Supreme Court. Neil Gorsuch on the Supreme Court. John Roberts, Justice Alito, all Catholics. And Clarence Thomas was raised Catholic. And we know they would vote against Roe versus Wade. Now, a quick aside question. Name 2 institutions in the United States where women are not allowed to have any leadership roles. Well, you know one of them. That's the Catholic Church. And number 2, yes, the Knights of Columbus. So when it comes to women's issues in general and family planning issues in specific, these white Catholic males have decided that they know what is right for women to do with their bodies, and they will act accordingly on that. And remember, the Catholic Church has a long history of always having women as number 2, and considering the problems that they are having right now, maybe they should just STFU, all right? But that won't happen. They'll still claim their self-righteousness, etc. Now, Brett Kavanaugh, the nominee, is as far right, if not further right, than any of the ones on the Supreme Court right now. Now, recent polling, which they've done for about 35 or 40 years, asks the same question every year in reference to Roe versus Wade. This year was the highest number ever, that yes, 71% of Americans feel that Roe versus Wade should not be overturned. Now, Brett Kavanaugh would definitely go to overturn it, though he will say that it's settled law. Now, his support is -3, meaning more people do not want him to be, let's just say, elected to the Supreme Court by 3%, which is worse than Judge Bork had it and worse than what Harriet Miers had it. So this goes back a long way. And he is underwater by 18% with women, meaning many more women do not want him to be on the Supreme Court than do want him to be on the Supreme Court. Now, we do have a case that he had worked on last year where he showed some, let's just say, egregious behavior in trying to keep a 17-year-old undocumented immigrant who was in the federal government custody from having an abortion, and trying to delay when a decision could actually be made. So he made his decision to throw it down so it wouldn't come back to him for a while, and the court, everyone in the court overrode him, and he made a scathing letter in reference to that, basically saying that his position was the right position, and everyone says that was him applying to be the Supreme Court Justice. That was him saying, I will overturn Roe versus Wade. So let's remember a couple things. Neil Gorsuch should never have been on the Supreme Court, and we have a president right now, from a technical standpoint, who is a non-indicted co-conspirator in terms of what Michael Cohen has agreed to plead guilty to. And what we do not need at this point in time is another rich white Catholic male on the Supreme Court to make decisions about what women should do with their bodies. You know, we need women to be in these leadership positions, because if they were in these leadership positions, we would not be going through this type of stuff. Now, I just want to say the last thing. There are 2 women senators, Susan Collins, Nancy Murkowski, both have been, I know Collins has, she met with Kavanaugh, said, oh, he says it's settled law. And of course, then he gets nominated, then he gets selected, then he's on the Supreme Court, and then he overturns it. And Susan Collins will say, well, he told me it was settled law. But we already know from his previous actions that he will overturn it. We need to elect more women. We need to elect them in this election. And we need to prevent Brett Kavanaugh from becoming a Supreme Court justice.